So the name is in my experience of connecting to spiritual things, of connecting to myself, of connecting to what I believe in, is in that space of kind of the metaphysical and the universe and energy itself and the existence of it and what it is and how it works and how we can tap into it, how we can connect to it, how we can feel it, how it kind of spins everything in a sense, at least in the way that I think of it. And at the end of the day, for me, all of that energy, so everything that we're created from, everything that we stem from, everything that connects all of us together as well as everything together, is love. And the reason I feel that way, it makes me sound super cheesy, and I get all like embarrassed saying that because it's like, oh, it's so sweet. But it's true. That's honestly what I believe. I believe that the vibration that connects everything together is love. I think it's a super pure, high vibration energy that is good. And it's love. Because the reason I would get that, you're looking at me, Blaine, like
I'm digging it.
I would have experiences in meditation where I would be deep into a meditation and I would be out in this wonderland cosmos place of, I mean, it's the astral plane.
I was going to ask that question.
Projection.
That was my next
out of body
freaking,
experience.
because I've tried. I've watched videos, I've read books. I just can't get there, but I think I get close.
You've already been there.
Oh, well, shoot.
Yeah. It's not
that hard.
I
was expecting like something to happen other than
what would happen. Yeah, you were expecting like to come into the area and be like, oh, this is it. I'm here.
I'm like floating.
Yeah.
Dude, that's dreamland for me. Like every time I fall asleep, I'm like doing some cool like skydiving off cliffs and things like that, or like hovering over lava lakes and stuff. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I would be in that space and I would connect to stuff there, whatever we want to call it, whatever we want to label it. And I would connect to stuff that felt really, really good, really, really like pure. And I would have this overwhelming sensation of love. And it would feel the same to me, that felt the same as when I think about the love that I have with my children. And I also think about the love that I have for my children and how it isn't tangible. It isn't like quantifiable. It isn't, I don't just love my kids when I'm present with them. Right now, I'm connected to all four of my children, wherever they're at right now, and I can feel them and I can connect to them. And that level of connection to me, that energy that exists, is that love. And I can feel that same connection with all sorts of different things. So that's why, cool. Long story short, that's why it's the Energy is Love podcast.
Nice.
I dig it, though. I dig it.
Have you ever incorporated plant therapy with energy, positive energy, like?
Well, we've had little podcasts, or at least little bits of our podcast. We've talked about
how
that makes us feel
for people. I always talk. Well, okay, so for just a quick example. So one of my favorite things to do is prune. Right, I love pruning. That's like my zen, and so I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, to me that is like the
Do you feel
highest
connected when you're there pruning?
Oh yeah, and a lot of people are like, man, that's crazy. It's a lot of work. It's hard work physically and everything else. But I'm in the zone when I'm pruning.
Would you call that like a flow state?
Dude,
I would love to call it a flow state. I don't even know what that is, but I would.
So a flow state, like if you think about in athletics or in sports, when you're like in the zone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a flow state. When you're doing things and you're not thinking about them. When you're so in this rhythmic flow of whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's pruning or you're playing a sport, or there's times that we'll get into a flow state in a podcast because everything just goes so smoothly and you can almost, like there's a tangibleness to it, but you're also you're connected, but you're not connected. Like, it's just this really zen place where, do you know what I mean? You could sit and probably prune for hours.
I could do that for days.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a massive connection when it comes to plants, when it comes to nature, when it comes to the earth, that energy that exists there.
And it might even be like, well, therapeutic, but healing.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we do a lot of stuff with nature. Do you know what I mean? We don't necessarily, when I say we, I'm talking about me and my wife. We do things with like sage and what else do we use? There's a bunch of stuff. She's probably like, it's this. There's
Like
a bunch of stuff.
Artemisia sagebrush sage, or like the
any type of sage.
Okay.
I mean, there's sage that you can buy from like metaphysical shops and things like that, and they use it for smudging and clearing energy and everything like that. And we have some of that, but for Stephanie and I, the best stuff that we like is like natural stuff. And so I don't want to go to a shop and buy something that was made for resell, right? I want to go out into nature and find whatever I'm drawn to and connect with, and then collect some of that and then bring that home, and we'll hang it and dry it, and then we'll bind it, and then that's what we'll use for the next 6 months or a year when we sage or when we do something that we need to clear the energy out. Right now we've got sage hanging up in our house in different spots because it's drying, and it's just there waiting for when we need to use it. So we do that kind of stuff in regards to like using plants in some way. I mean, we're always outside just being grounded in the, do you know what I mean? A lot of times I usually do my yard work barefoot unless I'm cutting grass.
Dude, you're always barefoot.
Yeah. I like being barefoot. I don't like shoes, but I also like being grounded and connected to the earth.
Dude, it's the same kind of thing we talk about having where we're wearing gloves or not. So you're actually in the dirt and you're getting the dirt in your nails, and you just have a different relationship. I totally get it. It just, you're having a relationship with your feet.
It feels good. Like when you go outside and you weed or something like that, and you come in and it's the end of the day and you're sitting down and you're having dinner and you've got the dirt under your fingernails, and like that feels good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel dirty. It doesn't feel like, oh, I got to wash my hands better. Like, I like that feeling of having that kind of energy, having that dirt, having that earth on me. I love it. I love when we get to go camping because there's no excuses then. You're just kind of in it, and you don't have the opportunity to go wash your hands, or you don't have the I'm going to go take a shower right now. So you really have to embrace it. But it feels so good to like just be in it and get dirty and be connected to it and all that kind of stuff.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's fun.
Well, and there's the smells, the outdoor smells,
we had a dude on, and he was talking about the mycorrhizae or whatever in the soil.
Yeah.
There's actually tangible things in the soil that absorb and make you feel better. Like it could be scientifically like proven why it's actually better for you not to wear gloves or shoes or whatever.
So it's beneficial for the gardeners who are out there just kind of like working the soil and getting crazy with it.
Totally.
Yeah, we also do every now and then we do work with psychedelics. So we will work with plant medicine every now and then.
Medicine.
Yeah.
I
quote
like
unquote
it.
medicine.
Quote unquote medicine.
Yeah. But we don't do that a lot. It's usually a special occasion or something like that, and an intention and a purpose that we'll do that.
I was gonna say, what kind of what kind of sage is it? Is it just like the medicinal garden sage?
See, it's Brad, I'm sure, would look at it and say that's bibbity boppity boo sage, right?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
There's a perennial sage, and then there's the garden medicinal sage that doesn't really flower. There's a tri-colored sage.
Yeah,
it's stuff you would put in food.
Many different.
The dried stuff that you would have and put it on your steak or whatever.
Yeah, it's just wild sage, like sagebrush that grows out in the middle of nowhere.
I'm guessing it's Artemisia.
It's that type of sage.
Yeah,
Artemisia.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
See, I told you, bibbity boppity boo, right there. I have no idea what he just said.
and I've heard of it.
Yeah.
See, he's a lot better at the because he works with it all the time.
Rosemary is another one that we use a lot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Well,
when we went back to California, my grandpa has this huge rosemary plant, right? It grows really, really good there. So they have this ginormous, like, rosemary bush. And Stephanie and I are like, oh, my God. We just, like,
just
stood there,
rub it.
breathed it in, and then filled up grocery bags full of it and brought it home, dried
cool.
it all out, and used it for smudging for, like, the next... I think we still have some of that sage.
So smudging.
So cool.
Define smudging.
So smudging is when you're going to take something like sage or...
Like take it how?
So you're going to use it. So it's typically bundled. So you're just going to put it in a small bundle. You know, you'll tie it up with some sort of anything, yarn, string. We use like, it's not hemp. It's not actually hemp, but that type of twine or whatever.
Like jute or sisal or something.
Yeah, something like that. And once it's dried out, then you'll burn it. And so we'll use that bundle of sage, and you'll start to burn the end, let it kind of catch fire, and then you'll blow it out, and then that smoke that comes off of it.
What is that they like? Incense?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Just like incense.
Yeah, just like incense.
Huh.
And we use that to smudge the house, smudge us, smudge.
So you take it around the house?
Yeah. So Steph does the majority of it. I will use. Sometimes I'll use it in... I hate these words, Blaine. I hate the verbiage of it because I have such a love-hate relationship with it. But I will use it in ceremony because I can't think of a better word to describe ceremony.
Yeah.
But I'll give you an example of what ceremony is. It was last summer, actually. The guys from the men's group came out to the house, and we did like a fire ceremony, which essentially was us sitting around the fire. Like, if you're going to look at it, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But the intention and purpose of that space was to not just connect with one another, not just to connect with the fire, but to connect with the earth, to connect with the moon. It was in conjunction with a full moon, all these different things. So that's a ceremonial, in a sense, right, space that we create with the intention of growth, development, healing, purging, cleansing, all these kind of different things. And I used sage as well as Palo Santos, which is a wood that is also really common to be used.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind it is. Is that the name? That's like the name of it?
I believe so. Whether that's like the hippie spiritual name that they call it,
or the actual
or
botanical name.
actual wood, you know, and it's just wood. It's a stick of wood.
Yeah.
Interesting. Just because it has like a powerful scent to it, or
It's
does
got
it
a
have
really
some
good smell. I mean,
other
I really like
qualities?
the smell of it. Steph burns it all the time. She'll like smudge our cars with it and stuff like that. I really like it, but it also has. I mean, it's like anything else. It's got purpose. It has many intended purposes. I always think about things like cups, right? This coffee mug that you have, which is super awesome, has tons of purposes and intentions for it. Right now it's holding things. Obviously we could put coffee in it. We could put water in it. We could use it as a scoop out in the garden. It's got a ton of different uses. And so all these things that we use, and I say we, it's not, yes, we do use all these things, but stones and crystals and sage and Palo Santo, they all have intended purposes, and they're varied and vast, and a lot of times it's whatever you choose to use it for. So there's we could pull up Palo Santos and the healing properties of what it does and all these kind of different things, and it's
cool.
a super high vibrational energy that it brings in and whatnot. But
So having higher vibrations, it mean that it's the energy flows through it quicker or easier, or connectivity to it?
So
or?
like if you were going into a space that had low vibration, then this would be something that would raise it. Does that make
Man,
sense?
that would be cool to be able to determine what kind of vibration like different plants have, or for example, this tree,
Yeah.
this wood.
Well,
Just
you guys
simply-
are already doing that.
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
know
does
what I
it change? Can it change?
Think about your vibration and how in flux it is. So rather than thinking about your vibration, think about just your energy.
Yeah.
Your energy levels. So your energy level is really high sometimes, and you're super energized, and you're like, man, I'm going. I feel good.
Yeah.
And then there's other times when you're really down.
Got it. Yeah.
Right. So that's just another way to look at it, another context to kind of put it in. And it's similar, but there's subtle more texture and if we're going to kind of reference vibration, because it's not just a direct physical aspect of what your energy level is.
So, but like referring to trees and or plants, is it a static vibration?
No.
Okay.